New data from GambleAware is highlighting a return to pre-pandemic rates of gambling. Alongside this, obviously, there are concerns around harmful gambling too. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Dr. Hilary Jones. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jason. How are you?
I'm all right. I trust we're finding you well.
Yeah, you do. Very well indeed. And I'm enjoying the sunshine too.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff. Now, obviously, gambling is of concern when it becomes a problem. We know that when the fun stops, you should stop. But that's not easy for everybody, is it?
Absolutely not. We know that, as you just said, gambling is back to pre-pandemic levels. And whilst most people can dabble in a little flutter now and again, and most people enjoy it, for some people it becomes addictive, and they get into gambling harms, which isn't just a financial harm. It also affects relationships. It can affect jobs and employment. And it can affect people's mental and physical health. And we know that 2.9 million people are at risk of gambling harms, and there are in existence 1.4 million who really need help with this. And the campaign that is currently in progress, which is the National Gambling Treatment Service campaign, is there to encourage people, or individuals or their loved ones who are worried about them, to come forward and get help, and help is there for them.
Yeah, because I mean, you are looking at someone probably needing to intervene in some way to raise a flag and to make you think about the situation. But this is something with symptoms, isn't it?
Absolutely. So it's an addiction like any other, and it can be a very powerful addiction, just as powerful as tobacco smoking or alcohol. People get embroiled in it. It ticks the boxes for the what we call the pleasure pathway. It lights up areas of the brain which give you pleasure, but raises that hope, and then it dashes your hope when you lose your money. And there are health inequalities involved with gambling too. So areas of deprivation, people who are not financially well off take that risk, and they lose even more money and get themselves into even more trouble. But the good news is that the National Gambling Treatment Service is there, joining up the NHS with independent groups across the country to offer one-to-one support, either on the telephone, anonymously and free, and confidentially, to offer advice on the telephone or online, or in peer support groups, and in all sorts of ways to help people. And we know that for 9 out of 10 people who seek help from gambling harms, 9 out of 10 people who seek help will find a really good, effective means of getting help.
Yeah, I mean, because so you're looking at something here, which, as you said, is going to affect their mental health, which will have an ongoing effect with their physical health too. They may not be able to afford to look after themselves properly. It could affect their eating. It could cause them to start drinking if they don't already. And these are all things which can build up to a real problem, all for the sake of the fact they think their next one is going to be the winner.
Absolutely, and that's the thing they get drawn into. They see adverts for gambling. They see sport on television, and the temptation is always going to be there. But the more you give into it, the more gambling harms you're at risk of developing. And for every one person that's sought help, and there's been 8,500 already that have sought help, as I say, 9 out of 10 get effective treatment and help with this and support. And for every one person who does that, there's probably 160 that aren't coming forward to get their help, but it is there.
Mm-hmm. So there's an opportunity to make a change, to get right, to get out of this. And in the same way as alcoholism is an addiction that we know we need treating, we need to look at gambling in the same way.
Absolutely, and the two often go together, so that people might sort of escape from their gambling debts into alcohol, as you say, and vice versa. So it's an ongoing thing, but there is help, and the phone number I want to give you, and this is available 24 hours a day, this source of help, and around the clock, is 0808 8020 133, and the website is begambleaware.org/NGTS.
And the industry itself is financing part of the Be Gamble Aware campaign. So they know they're not looking for people to be addicted within the industry. They want people to enjoy gambling in a sensible, safe way. Although we already know the only winner is the gambling industry. That has to be how it works. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to do it.
That's absolutely right, and actually, the NHS now are going to be doing this independently of any charitable donations. So the NHS are setting up dedicated clinics in conjunction with independent charities that are there to support people. So Gamble Aware are not providing funds for these NHS clinics and the treatment service. It's going to be there. It's going to be completely independent, and there's going to be experts specially trained to talk to people, to give them one-to-one support, which is so important, in a non-judgmental way. So it's, tell us about your problems, what's bothering you, are you struggling with your mental health, any physical problems, and they will help people every step of the way to get the treatment and the support they need.
So give us those details again, where people can get in touch if they believe they or someone they know has a gambling issue.
Yeah, it's 0808 8020 133. And the website is begambleaware.org/NGTS.
As ever, Dr. Hilary Jones, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Jason. Take care.